Hi guys, thanks for checking the video out. Steve Buzza here, and today's video kind of talking and giving my opinion on why it is so hard to win on the PGA Tour. And before I get started, I would love to hear your input. So if you could get some comments down, and while you're there, like and subscribe. Now I've got that out the way, let's get into the content. So I think it is really hard to win on the PGA Tour. The obvious one is they're all really, really good. So to get out on the tour, and if you look at what makes you win an event, so there's a big difference in the stats between when you win an event versus when you are just like through your whole season stats, and that is the putting. So putting tends to contribute to your score, or on the PGA Tour, it tends to contribute to score 15%. On the weeks that you win, usually averages out at 40%. And when I say contributes, obviously you're going to have X amount of putts around. You can't just go, oh, if I got rid of 20, I'd be 20 better, because that's just not realistic. But basically, when you win, putts tend to drop. It might be out of your control. So the week you win, it might just be the fact that the putts went in. You know, it doesn't mean that the following week you putt any worse. And remember, with putting, you can roll the ball beautifully, and there's lots of outside agencies that can prevent a great roll from going in. So there is that element of luck. So that's kind of from the stats side of it. You get chased down. So when you're like, and I feel so sorry for Tony Finau. You know, he just can't win. And at Riviera, he did everything right. He chased through the pack. You know, he had a 64. You can't hold that against him. Missed the putt in the playoff, which, yes, of course he wanted to hold it. Of course it was a very makeable putt. But when you look at the stats, you know, it must have been about 10 feet. You know, that's just under 50% conversion through the season. So yes, of course you want him to hole it. Of course he wanted to hole it, but sometimes they just don't go in. He did hit it a little weak, you know, if we were to put a little negative critique in there. But how can you hold it against the guy that just shot 64? If you take Honma, he could be in Tony's situation, feeling really down in the dumps that he hit a great shot into 18 and missed the putt. You know, and the way it all transpired, it worked out for him. You know, you get that element to it. You know, sometimes it just depends on what happens. I remember there was a quote from Brooks Koepka. You know, he won 4 majors, and I think he only had one win on the tour. So he had like 1 or 2 wins, 4 majors. And he made a good point. He said, look, I played well. I've come second a lot, and I got beat. Padraig Harrington, Ryder Cup captain for Europe this year. And before he won, he had tons of second places. He just couldn't get it done. And it's sometimes down to the fact that you get beat. But the other thing, and I think this is a big reason why it is really hard to win on tour, and that is golf in general teaches you, and you create a learned behavior not to win. Because think about it, even if you had the best season ever, a best season, you're probably going to 2 wins, maybe 3 wins. You know, even as a percentage, and think about like a team sport, you know, like a soccer, I'm in America now, so football or American football, cricket. If you win the league, you're not going to have a win ratio of 2 or 3 to 20 losses. On the PGA Tour, that can be very normal. Take a Charles Howell. He won a Sea Island, was it last year or the year before? And he'd had a span of like, go on, somebody put the actual answer down in the comments. I think like 650 events in between wins. And he is, I think he's on the top like all-time money list. You know, it's just it's the nature of the game, but it does teach you not to win. There's a mindset element to it. So, like I mentioned, Brooks Koepka, he goes into the majors thinking he will win. A lot of people go into the majors thinking they're not going to win. Brooks wins at Scottsdale a couple of weeks ago. So you go, oh, that's because his mind, and he was able to really, when everybody was crumbling, he was the one that was able to go out there and grab it. Whereas in reality, he pitched in for an eagle on 17, whereas another day it doesn't go in, and then you don't even hold the putt back, and you come second or third, and you go home, and nobody even talks about you. So can you see that the nature of the game, actually, it kind of teaches you not to win. So what is the solution? Or, again, it's easy for me to give my opinion. I have 0 PGA Tour wins. I do have a couple of professional, very mini tour. I've had professional wins on the mini tour, or the tour below the tour of the mini tour. But a professional win is a professional win. But how can you get over the finish line, or get over the finish line more often? So first of all, it's just having the acceptance that there's sometimes things out of your control, and having that acceptance can actually help you perform and do the stuff that you have control over, which is like your pre-shot routine, your commitment to your shots, judging your shots on how well you committed. So being more process orientated than outcome orientated. Outcome orientation, that's not the right word, but being outcome orientated has so many things that are out of your control. All it's going to do is chip away at your confidence. If you can be more focused on the process, so have more like process goals, I'm going to go out there, going to have a smile on my face, I'm going to commit to all my shots, I'm going to make great decisions, and once I've made a decision, I am going to fully commit to it. If you can create that type of mindset and that type of behavior, you can keep putting yourself into the positions, and then hopefully things go your way and you get a win, whether that be on the PGA Tour or whether that be just in your local midweek Stableford / medal or whatever you're playing, or just taking money from your best friend. There's no better feeling than taking money off your best friend, by the way. But there we go. Get some comments down below. I'd love to hear your input. I've been a little broad, but I've given you a couple different, some stats, some more opinion based. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Tiger made it so easy, or made it look so easy, and I think that's another thing that kind of goes against these players, is Tiger was so dominant. When it's all said and done and he retires, and even if he doesn't get his major tally up to Jack Nicklaus, he was phenomenal in those world championships. At one point, he had like a win ratio of 50%, which is just insane. So we kind of saw that and went, oh, that's what a world number one needs to do. That's what a top golfer needs to do. It's actually really hard. And I think it just shows you how great Tiger was. But get some comments down below. And as always, thanks for watching. Stay safe. I hope to catch you soon.